Welcome back to part 2 of our reaction to Kill. Thanks so much for coming back. If you don't want to watch this broken up into parts or cut down, then join our Patreon page or become a member of this YouTube channel. You'll get access to the full uncut reaction. But without further ado, let's jump into part 2. Here we go.
Oh, God. That'd be terrifying.
He's just one guy. He's just one guy. That's always the thinking of the bad guys.
He can't get us all. Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God!
What does that do? Is that just kills you, I guess.
I am imagining it either overdoses you with CO2 or it just like freezes your face.
That's creating an interesting effect for the atmosphere. Oh my God. That was so accurate. Don't get another cut.
Thank God for best friend. Oh!
I've never seen so many head trauma moments in a movie before.
Right? Him just coming out of nowhere and shorting his charge. That was awesome. Oh, right, because he wasn't dead enough. Yeah, and whose fault is that?
सबका प्यार आज ही उज्ज्वलित हो रहा है पता नहीं
This bad guys, they made him fun.
उसको उठा के उसके बाप से फिरौती मांगने गए थे चाकू बांध दे दिया हमें खून भी निकाल दिया हमारा तो मार दिए तुम चाहते हो तुम क्या किया हो किसकी बेटी को मारे हो जानते हो तुम
अच्छा ये लोग साधारण फौजी नहीं है कमांडो है ट्रेन में सेफ नहीं हम लोग
We're not safe on the train. It's 2 commandos. We're not safe.
उनमें से एक को भी हम जिंदा नहीं छोड़ सकते एक को मारना है
Are the trains linked? Like they can't
like disconnect them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or maybe it's too heavy.
फैमिली को उठाएंगे फिरौती मांगेंगे और फिर मार देंगे ये सब बलदेव सिंह ठाकुर के कारण हुआ है
Dang, he's definitely got some like weird narcissism.
Yeah, for sure.
आना बोली आना आना कहाँ
बलदेव तो कहाँ रह गया
क्या हुआ है आना को
Oh no.
रो क्यों रहा है
This is a very, very interesting setup because it's constantly rooting you in the emotional aspect of things. Like the human aspect of things, I guess. This is something that you kind of lose in something like The Raid.
That's true, because you don't have any sort of emotionality besides like
Fight. Yeah. They didn't just push her off the train. It was time, so she got smacked by another one.
Yeah, right.
That was the most brutal killing I've seen in a while of a woman in a movie. It was so messed up.
Stabbed 3 times, pushed off the train into another train.
प्लीज आना को ढूंढ के ले आना जाने वो
He's got a goal. Okay. I was like, for a second, I was like, what is the goal here right now? What do our characters want?
His final promise to her. Oh, hey!
Oh, the rope left by the bad guy?
Mm-hmm.
देख, we're greatly outnumbered here. और वैसे भी ये लोग अगले स्टेशन पे उतर जाएंगे।
आना के बारे में उन्हें पता चला, तो वो उसे जिंदा नहीं छोड़ेंगे।
तो चल फिर, मैं भी चलूँगा तेरे साथ।
Nagesh, you are in no condition to fight.
You're in no state to come back.
तो लीक already खो चुका हूँ। I don't want to lose you.
Oh.
Bro.
वो ट्रेन से उतरेंगे जरूर, लेकिन दूसरों के कंधों पर।
I was expecting either that or only in body bags, you know.
पता फौजियों के साथ कौन था? चल उन फौजियों के साथ।
हमको कैसे पता हमको कैसे पता
Oh, man. Don't say anything.
Yeah, right? Don't say anything.
Just shh. Keep your mouth shut. Resist the temptation.
Uh-huh. Don't spare the others. They don't know what they're looking for, so they're not going to kill anybody.
That guy's got a hammer. What? What? What's this not look of acknowledgement? What's that about?
Yeah, I know. What's going on?
Are they military also?
Surprise! There's a bunch of military commandos on the... Oh.
Zippo. Oh, shit.
We got lighter fluid, baby.
Oh boy.
We've got an improvised flamethrowing device.
We're with you. We're with you.
Please, 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 please. हम लोग बहुत मुश्किल से अपनी जान बचा कर आए।
Oh.
Something's sus.
Yeah, because they had that nod.
बापू कहाँ है? आए नहीं अभी तक?
You didn't know. You weren't there at the time. Yep. It was a false flag. They pretended to be.
Oh my God! How many times is he gonna get?
Woo!
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah. So the look of acknowledgement was they were bandits and they pretended to be
Civilians.
to escape. Oh, bye.
जाकर बता अपने बाप को। आ रहा हूँ मैं।
Go on, run on home.
That was an interesting deception.
Yeah.
फौजी, तुम्हारे लिए आ रहा है।
रंजन कोई नहीं
This is it's so fun how the frame is so crowded.
उनसे लड़ने हम लोग नहीं जाएंगे। हमको ट्रेन से उतरना है। क्या बोल रहे हो? उतरना है।
I do wonder what would have happened if the commandos didn't fight. Mm-hmm. Would she be alive?
She'd be kidnapped, but she might be alive.
Yeah. But then we wouldn't have all this cool action. So.
Exactly.
I love that guitar. That's cool. It's got this old western feel.
अगर लड़ने का औकात नहीं है ना तो कॉल सेंटर में बैठ के हेलो हिलाई डकैती मत मारिए
हमको उतरना है अभी बस
हमको उतरना है अभी।
Oh no. Oh, they're gonna die.
लेकिन उतर के बच जाओगे। बलदेव ठाकुर ना ट्रेन में एक मामूली पैसेंजर है, असहाय, कमजोर, बेचारा। लेकिन अगर वो उतर गया,
He brings the weight.
तो हम में से एक को चुन चुन
Yep.
उतरना।
चलिए
लेकिन आगे हम नहीं जाएंगे। आप जाइए।
Yeah, you take the lead. You got us into this mess. You put your neck out first.
That is the appropriate thing to do.
Lead from the front, I always say.
Okay.
Oh, we're cauterizing wounds here. Ow.
Also, a great opportunity to show off the bod. I ate right for 18 months. I need to show it to camera.
I've been eating nothing but chicken and rice for days.
Yeah.
Or are we making a spectacle?
That's cool.
New item added to inventory.
That is grody melody.
Oh.
Like, the audience knows what that is. Does he know what that is?
Yeah, right? It's time for a little psychological warfare. Oh.
It's like a horror movie.
Right? Yeah, psychological warfare, baby. Oh my God.
With the knife in his mouth
knife
still.
in the mouth.
How disrespectful. It's looking like... This is very Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol where
Yeah, right?
It's gonna snap. Yeah. Ouchie, ouchie.
Good catch with the legs. They're not going to expect me to come from behind.
Still see that hammer in the background. He's dead. All right.
Stay in there.
Ow! Oh, twice?
Nice.
That's interesting.
Oh,
Shit.
come on.
Oh,
All right, he's
I actually
back.
thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was really neat.
Oh, snatch, lock, stock, and two smoking barrels.
Yep. In that
Okay,
case,
that's
no
worse than
way.
death.
Yeah.
That is
Oh God.
worse than death. On the toilet bowl? Ah! Grody, grody, grody.
हम फाड़ के रख देंगे साला दोनों को पूरा नजारा हमको उत्तेजित करने के लिए किया हुआ है
Yes, but also he might dunk your head in a toilet.
Yeah, right? I know he hung up your friends on display, but have you ever been swirlied to death?
There was another film like this called Hotel Artemis. There was a similar thing like this in the film with the villain and his father.
Let's be realistic about it. Our entire extended family.
Oh, this guy. Oh, another undercover bad guy.
Uh-huh. Uh-oh. God, that face wound looked like it hurts like a motherfucker.
How do you like it, bitch? How do you like it? Dang.
Oh!
Oh my gosh. Okay, you got him. Okay, he's in full-on, like, psycho mode now. That face. We need this. We needed this.
I love this.
He's gonna say stay.
It's too risky.
Yeah, but they're gonna go, no, we have to help. Come on. We get the beats. Cut to. Let's move forward. Come on.
Come on, but it's such a great beat. Let them have their moment.
हम भी चलेंगे आपके साथ
Ah, clever. We making a flare? Like some sort of warning signal? Oh, he'll stop the train if he sees an emergency.
There are no small parts. That performance was awesome.
Great.
Oh, man. I would have preferred you didn't call me at all.
Yeah, right?
Oh, jeez. Oh, they have no idea?
No, they don't.
कोई फायदा नहीं किसी ने नहीं देखी वो आग
Somebody saw it.
पुलिस
Give it a moment.
Okay, how long are these police gonna last, honestly?
Not long.
Okay, my prediction is the cops are gonna die fairly quickly, but their weapons are gonna be used.
They got really big weapons for monitoring a train is the big thing. So I think you're right, but I don't think they're going to be super effective.
It'll get caught up in the walls and stuff like that.
I mean, like, they had bayonets, so you can use them as, like, keep your distance, hold everybody in the hallway sort of thing, but it's not going to be super helpful.
Yeah, but you try to swing it, it'll make contact with the walls.
Yeah.
I think that'll be part of the choreography.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. He's getting off? Or they're just moving trains?
Yeah, maybe they're moving cars. Oh, shit.
Oh. Is he getting back on?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's got to get back on.
Right.
You can't take him out of the movie. He's way too interesting of a bad guy. Oh, that was great.
And this guy's sitting there like, I just have to watch him take out all of my extended family and not say anything.
Oh my God! Dang.
Oh! Oh, God.
What's that called? Hung, drawn, and quartered or something?
Yeah.
Well, that's when
that's when you pull somebody into 4 parts.
Ugh. I thought it was called hung, drawn, and quartered when you, like, pull their guts out.
Drawn and quartered is when you're, this is going to get a little graphic, tied up to, like, 4 horses or 4 different things. It tears you apart into 4 quarters. That's how I know what drawn and quartered is, but...
Here we go.
Bring it on!
Woo! Oh, that was close. Dang, this guy came in with his own one-up.
Yeah, he did. Oh!
Okay, it got him on the ribs. He's okay.
You can lose a few ribs.
God, Jesus. Ouchie. Oh.
Aunties, this is when you get involved.
Yeah. This is your chance.
Yeah, sick 'em.
She's coming in with her own thing. Come on, come on.
Yeah! Put that hammer to work.
Oh my goodness gracious, that is lodged. Yo, he is dead.
I don't even think that was a claw hammer.
Like, get in there like a nail.
Yeah, right? Hammer it down.
Okay, okay, okay. He's dead.
What do you think happened to him?
Everybody is losing family today. This reunion. Jesus. 24.
24. Is that like how many people he's taken out?
Oh, okay. I thought he was a Kiefer Sutherland fan or something. Or in India, it would be Anil Kapoor because he started.
Yeah, you're right. He did do
24.
The Indian version of 24.
Was there more bodies hung up? Okay. Oh. That is spooky. Oh, aunties are ready.
Yeah.
Don't say shit. Be cool. Oh my God. Oh, what?
That's what you get for holding your knife a little too close. Idiot.
Okay. So far, cops alive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but he's probably got a concussion though. Like, you got to stay awake.
I'm back.
No.
Oh shit. Here we go. Okay, one cop's dead.
Cool. There goes one.
He's so calm as he walks up. Two cops gone.
Yep.
What did I tell you?
Right. You're
what did I
right.
tell you?
Oh no. Genius.
Nice. Got him.
Nice. Oh. Damn.
He needs some water. Like, he has to be dehydrated. He's sweating profusely.
Get this man a Gatorade.
He's been running on adrenaline nonstop. So much head trauma. He needs a drink of H2O. Dang, his head came off.
Yeah.
अगली बोगी में गोली चली पुलिस ही होगी साले को जिंदा रखते हैं इसकी जिंदगी का कुछ तो उपयोग हो
This guy's thinking with portals.
Even an injured commando, I don't know how much chance you have.
Yeah, right. Look at him go, one-handed.
Here we go.
Re-rack. Nice.
Oh. No music.
Come on.
Oh my God. Oh shit. The music seems to be indicating he's gonna die.
It is.
Yeah. You heard that chest cavity break. That little extra nuance of him stepping on him, just to like add more insult to injury.
Oh.
मारने से पहले नाम नहीं पूछना उनका तुम्हारा क्या नाम है बे?
He's losing everybody that matters to him.
Nobody's making it off this train alive.
Use this opportunity to your advantage. Break his wrist. Or that. That works too.
Also absolutely works.
Right into the throat. Nice. Oh, yes!
Oh,
that's gonna hurt.
Dad's going down.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. He's gonna light his face on fire? No.
That's one way to do it.
Damn, what a way to go. It'd be amazing if he spat that out like Scorpion.
Yeah, right.
Dang, what a way.
Oh my God.
he's gone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that pretty
There's
much.
no way, yeah, like...
Have you ever heard of a movie called Ghost Rider? Excuse me.
हम 4 को मारे थे तुम्हारे तुम 40 को मार दिया हमारे खानदान के
And
रक्षक नहीं हो साला राक्षस हो तुम राक्षस साला हमसे पिलाए जा रहे हो देश का घंटा बचाओगे तुम
so many shots to the stomach.
It's gonna get loud again. Yeah, like this weird moment of quiet. Oh Jesus, he's getting so. Yeah, like you're right,
So
man.
many shots
like
to
right
the
in the
lower
kidney.
body. Yeah.
How are you alive at this point? He needs water. Like
He needs some milk.
he needs like a what do you call it? An IV.
Yeah, right?
ऐसे ही सेम टू सेम मारा था सोल्जरनी को
Yeah, just like salt the wound a little bit more. Because that worked so well for you last time.
The hubris, the narcissism, it's crazy. Like he's never seen a movie apparently, because this is
clearly not.
usually how you amp up the good guy to kill you.
You sly dog, you got me monologuing. Ooh.
Why aren't you covering your daughter's eyes?
Yeah, right? No, you must see how the world really is, child.
Got some Gladiator drool.
Yep.
First time I ever saw that in a movie was Gladiator, where the hero's so broken inside, he's just drooling.
Well, nice of you guys to show up.
Oh, this is like a classic American movie, dude. That's how you
Yeah,
do back in the day. Cops show up at the end of the movie after it's all been resolved. Okay, please don't mistake him for a bad guy.
Yeah, please, everybody.
Oh, dang.
Oh.
You can't have a sequel if you kill him. That wound looks awful.
That's what I'm saying. The one on his face looks gnarly.
वरना जरूरी है
Oh.
Oh, wow. Open-ended. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I have two controversial statements to make.
Go on.
Number one is I like this better than The Raid. That's the first controversial
Okay.
statement.
All right.
And I have many reasons why. I'll get into that. I'll break it down. The second thing is the bad guy. I don't know if you've seen one of his movies yet, but the bad guy reminds me of almost like a younger Nawazuddin Siddiqui in his ability to not overplay things, but still be so sinister. I really like that a lot. Like, I feel like Nawazuddin Siddiqui is another actor from India who's like got that ability where he could be quiet and still menacing and scary. He did a movie called Raman Raghav 2.0, and he's just scary. And he's not even doing much, but he's so scary.
It's just that like subtle menace that he brings. I guess the closest comparison that I would have would be Philip Seymour Hoffman in.
You've really moved into that side of the frame.
Shoom! Okay, anyway, Philip Seymour Hoffman in Mission Impossible 3 as just kind of like understated menace.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to raise your voice.
Yeah.
You just are menacing.
Yeah.
And the way you behave is menacing to the maximum. Because it was kind of an interesting. We sort of saw his evolution over the course of the movie as he became more and more sinister and more unhinged. Because like at the start, he gets on the train and he's pretending to be like a student or whatever. And he's kind of like fun and jovial and charismatic. And then as the film progresses and you know, our main guy starts taking out more of his guys and he starts realizing more, or maybe not realizing, but like trying to take control of the situation more and more.
Yeah.
It like falls away and you just see the like unhinged narcissism of who he is.
So the reason I like this more than The Raid, it's very obvious that the inspiration seems to be The Raid. It's like The Raid on a train. The reason I like it more is because the scenario allowed us to keep people that rooted him in his humanity. Because with The Raid, it's just like there's this thing. It's like he just needs to get to the top of this pagoda, basically, right?
Right.
And take out the main villain. And there's all these henchmen in his way. And it's like after a while, that just exhausts me.
Right.
Especially when the fight scenes go on forever. Now, the fight scenes here are not perfect, but they're really stellar. And it not being perfect has more to do with a rhythmic thing with regards to the overall story than the fights itself, because the fights were actually very well executed, in my opinion, and the way it was shot was well executed. But yeah, with the raid, like, it didn't even bother. Like here, after the girl died, they still made use of that actress and that story by bringing in the flashbacks. Initially, I was a little bit annoyed that she died because I'm just like, okay, we're using this female character just as like
the one-up, and she's getting fridged for his development.
Exactly, but it's like, okay, I let that go as quickly as I could because I'm like, well, I need to stay rooted in this story of what's happening with this guy. I don't want to disconnect from that. And they brought her back in for some very poignant flashbacks, which again, roots you in his humanity along his journey. And they gave you one more goal, which is to save her sister.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's like, it's very clear in how it's operating where it's still keeping me just tied to this character in his headspace. You know what I mean? Add to that, his acting was strong.
His acting was really good.
Yeah, like the way he's performing everything with dealing with the villains, with dealing with her, dealing with the other passengers, all of that stuff. And then they didn't just toss the female character aside and that's that. They brought in the aunties too. So,
I loved the aunties. My one little shtick, and this is like entirely technical, is the fact that she was able to lodge and break off what I believe, if I look back at the shots, was a ball peen hammer that has a blunted end on both sides, and like lodge that in his head. It makes more sense for a claw hammer, but like that was the only little like bit about that.
Well, you know what they say, moms can lift up a military army tank.
You're right.
There's a baby under it.
Mom's strength goes very, very far. But I did love the bringing in of the aunties and that we got the sort of assist from the people who weren't military commandos.
Moms can pick up a 16-wheeler, big rig truck with one hand if there's a baby under there.
Yeah.
Mom's strengths are crazy.
Mom's strength is crazy.
I'm exaggerating. No, but there's like this old saying, I don't know if it's in India as well, but there's an old saying over here, or like it's some kind of weird thing where they say, moms they get this adrenaline strength to pick up a car if the baby's trapped under it.
It's the mama bear mode.
I don't know if that's like real, but I believe it. I buy that. First off, have you ever gotten a Thai massage? Like these old ladies are so strong.
No, you're right.
So,
Like, I have experienced this.
You combine that with like adrenaline and rage. I believe she could totally lodge that in his skull.
Fair.
I mean, the hammer coming apart, I don't know, but it hurt a lot.
But like at least getting it lodged in there.
I buy that.
I respect it.
The part that I found distracting, and it might just be my brain going, this can't be real, is the stuff outside. Every time they were on the external shots of the train, I didn't feel any sense of actual danger.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie Speed?
No, I haven't, but I'm familiar enough with it.
Okay, you saw Mission Impossible recently.
Yeah.
Okay, like I haven't seen it recently, but even though there's artifice to that train sequence, it still felt harrowing and scary for me. I don't know why. And so here, every time they were outside of the train, I'm like, it's probably green screen, it's probably a stage, it's probably not real. Even though the way the bad guy, as good as he is as a performer, as soon as like the whole thing was happening where he's going outside of the train with the rope, I didn't get the sense of, oh shit, like I
gotta be careful.
Yeah.
And they only really cut to and like presented the danger of like the passing poles a couple of times later on in the film.
Yes.
So like they kept kind of alluding to it using off-screen sound effects and then like the blood splatter when the bad guys jumped off the train. But I agree. I think where it started with me was where our main villain first got on top of the train and then he just casually took a stroll down the rest of the train. And I was kind of curious if they were going to do that when our hero got back on, but when our hero got on, he actually had to kind of crawl, and that had a little bit more of that Mission Impossible weight for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It didn't feel like the stakes outside of the train were nearly high enough. It really just felt like, oh, that's just another place where we go to transition where our characters are.
To be fair to the film, it feels like this was probably a more limited budget.
Yeah.
And so they were doing a whole lot with the budget they had.
Oh my God, yes.
There was so much going on within the confines of this space, and they managed to sustain my interest the entire time, because it's like, you have to think about any movie you've seen before where it's all in one location. It gets hard to watch after a while.
Yeah.
There's always this point where it's just like,
we are still here.
Yeah, exactly. There's a great film with Ethan Hawke called Tape. All takes place in a hotel room, and with Thurman as well, I think. And after a while, it's like, we're still in the hotel room.
We're still just here.
Yeah, the way they made use of the space was very clever, and the way they kept upping the ante over the course of the film.
Yeah.
And making use of the characters that matter to the main character. You know, like it's just like another part of him dying, and also giving him his one-up.
Yeah, exactly. Just giving him that second and third and fourth adrenaline boost to keep on going.
Yeah, I think that sometimes it's a little tough with films like this because like they're going for this. Okay, earlier in the movie, during the reaction, I said there's like this mix of realism and kung fu. And by kung fu, I don't mean that they were actually doing kung fu. I just mean in terms of like Shaw Brothers cinema, where you have these guys going for a strike. And they
just kind of hold it.
And they hold it there for a second. It's like, well, I'm used to seeing that from kung fu films back when growing up. And they're mixing that with realistic movement and hits and like reactions and stuff like that. It's that sometimes there's just so much head trauma that after a while I'm just like,
there's no way he's getting up from that.
Yeah, it starts to like take me out of it just a little bit. But it was still like really engaging for me though overall.
I agree. It's one of those like suspension of disbelief things that I've learned as a like stunt and fight performer is just to a certain degree, we got to act our hits, but we can't like act them realistically because if you're even a trained fighter, you take a few too many hits to the head, like Jaby's saying, and you're just down for the count.
Yeah.
Like there's only so much you can take, and you're not going to be coming back with the same degree of choreo over and over and over again for like 40 effective fights.
Yeah.
So I agree with what you're saying is like you got to hide the unreality in the fights where the hits are more reasonable places that you can come back from.
Yeah.
So if you hit your main character in the head too many times, it's like, okay, I'm kind of taken out because that's just too many hits to the head.
Yeah.
But if you hit him in the stomach, my brain, I'm like, you can just take infinite hits to the stomach and you'll be fine, right? Stomach, chest, back, like those big kind of fleshy areas that make a good thump, and you're like, that hit had weight to it, but it's not damaging enough for the hero to go down.
Right.
So I'm still engaged in the fight.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
They did have a great moment though in the bathroom where he got a face hit, and
that was a really good moment. I fully agree. Yeah.
I thought it was cool because like it's just like rhythmically, it's like then boom, and it just stops for a second, and it's on him, and you're with him, and you're experiencing what he's experiencing vicariously because of the shot and the sound effects and everything. I'm like, oh, that's actually really cool as just a moment to sort of break up everything that's happening. The thing that sort of messed with me, I guess, is like I think it was before it said the kill logo.
Yes, half an hour into the movie.
Yeah, it's probably like 35, 40 minutes, but yeah. And so before it said that, there was this moment where like there's fighting and it stops. And then it cuts to some dialogue happening over here, and it comes back, and we're in the middle of fighting. There's no setup for it. It's just happening again. I'm like, oh, we're just still fighting. There's no real... did you see Deadpool and Wolverine yet?
I haven't, no. I'm going to see it tonight, though.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out what to say. I can't say anything about that, so I'm not going to talk about that. All I can say is like there's this moment of exhaustion that happens for me because I'm like I don't really know what's happening. It's like there's just more fighting happening, and it's not really informed by anything other than like we have to kill each other. And
it's just kind of like, oh, we're back here again.
Yeah,
kind of vibe.
Yeah, and it doesn't have any real value for me as the viewer, as a person who's trying to be engaged with this, because we're just coming back into some more action, as opposed to it being informed by some material thing in the room. You know what I mean?
Right. You have to have the justification for why they're fighting. Why they're trying to like off each other.
Yeah. It's not going to cost you too much more time to do. Like the bad guy wakes up, he's awake. There's a innocent person over there. I got to protect this person, and then you're back in the fight again. Like it could be anything, but like they're literally they're trading blows, and it's like okay, that keeps happening. That was happening in the first 40 minutes, and then after the kill logo, it stopped happening. So then I
started getting the justification.
Yeah.
I guess my feeling with it is it like the beginning felt very like we got to get to the kill logo.
Yes.
We got to get to that like point that justifies why our character is going to basically off every single person on this train.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm kind of with you. And so it may be like you said, they're cutting for time and just going back to fight just so we can get the ball rolling to the actual inciting incident, which wasn't necessarily them getting on the train and them trying to kidnap her. It was them taking out his loved one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I agree. I think the beginning, the story beats felt a little fast, and I was going like, oh man, how are we going to have like any more movie after this if we're already like, chasing him down through the train? But I was also under the impression that our loved one was going to stay alive, and she was going to kind of be the MacGuffin at the end of the train that he had to like fight his way up to, kind of like in The Raid.
Yeah.
But taking her away was a creative way of, I guess, flipping that expectation on its head.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, we still had the compelling storyline of her asking him to find her younger sister.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really, really good. But yeah, I agree. The beginning up to the kill logo felt a little faster paced.
Yeah.
Just because I think they were trying to get to the moment that they needed.
I do wonder what would have happened if they just started the movie on the train. Like, and just it would just sort of catch us up as it's going. Because it was doing quite a bit of setup in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Like the military commando stuff, getting off the thing. He gets his phone back. There's a whole thing with his fiance, well, the woman he loves being engaged. He shows up at the engagement. Oh, I'm supposed to marry you. Do I have to die for us to be together? I want to be with you forever. And like all that stuff. It all has value. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I do wonder though, like if you just cut it off and you start the film later in the story, like, what is the latest you can come in and it still makes sense and you're still rooted emotionally? That's just a question. It's just like a thought experiment.
I'm curious if, like, because, Achara's fun fact was that we have potentially a American version of this film in the works. And I'm curious to see the difference in those, like, openings between the two. Because I think the lots of establishment of, like, the military stuff and then the cute romantic moments where he meets her at the engagement party and things like that are very indicative of, like, Indian filmmaking, and the sort of, you have your romance moments and you have your sweet moments and you want to get as much into, attract a bit of a broader audience before you get into the meat and potatoes of the film.
Yeah.
And I think that's very common, or a very common structure that you'll find in a lot of Indian cinema, at least in my experience. And so I'm curious if the American film will go more your route, where the audience gets caught up as we're already aboard the train, because that also is a very more, I guess, Hollywood filmmaking style, where we do exposition cooked into the storyline rather than like leading up to it.
Yeah. As soon as you started saying, I had a sneaking suspicion where you're going with that, and then I immediately countered in my brain with, there's John Wick.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, John Wick has a whole setup, and you don't know who John Wick is.
Yeah.
He loses his wife. So there's that, and all he's got is this dog, and so we're emotionally rooted in this dog, and there's really no action for a while until the gas station, and they come and kill his dog, and then that's the rest of the movie, right?
Yeah.
And then action. But we're like, I love John Wick, don't get me wrong, but this had me more emotionally rooted throughout the film. And it's like, it actually has, for me, what has been missing in a lot of films like this, like these revenge kill films or whatever it is, like they often lack some kind of emotional angle. Even John Wick, it's like after a while, I'm like, okay, I get it.
John Wick is just on a tear.
Yeah, I love those movies. They are so much fun, but like, goddamn, after a while, I'm just like,
the justification is pretty loose.
Yeah, I'm winded.
I agree.
And so with, I compared it to The Raid very early on in this discussion, and so the reason I like it better is because the fight scenes aren't necessarily more skillful than The Raid, but what makes this better for me is that the fight scenes, while they frustrated me sometimes because of the rhythm with regards to the story, there was something about it that felt more, dare I say, realistic, even though there was like the kung fu elements in there. Whereas The Raid is just like, okay, we're still fighting. It's like, that's just one fight scene.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, and it just goes on for 10 minutes, like that kind of rhythm. And after a while, I'm just like,
we've lost the plot at this point.
And I know everybody loves The Raid. Like, you love Greg.
It's
like,
great.
everybody loves it. And I really appreciate it from a martial artist, choreographer, director standpoint. I can technically appreciate it. It's just that the storyteller in me goes, what's going on now? Like, we're still doing this beat. Right down to the okay, I'm gonna get lost in a tangent here. But you know that guy Mad Dog in the
Mad Dog,
there's this whole secret in the story where it's like you don't realize he's actually the one who's the dangerous one.
Yeah.
In the story, and the way they set him up to me is wrong because like he fights for like 15 minutes with this guy in the movie, and I'm like, okay, it would be more scary to me if he took out this character in 3 moves. Now, when he faces the main character, I'm more scared of him.
Right.
And like this film got closer to what I always want from the relationship between bad guys and main characters and all that stuff. And like the main bad guy getting fucked up as he did in this movie, while it went a little far, I appreciated the heck out of it.
Right.
Because like that is what I call the John McClane effect, where he's like, that's a Die Hard reference.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
I got it.
He's crawling to the finish line. He's like, he makes it to the bench. And it's like, we don't even know if he's alive.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really, really good point. And I do love that kind of ambiguous ending that they gave us.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we had that line that was very obvious foreshadowing where she's like, do I have to die to be with you?
Yeah.
But then they kind of turn it on its head where they use it as like, are they together again in the afterlife? Or is he just having a moment and then he's going to have to like move on? I thought that was a really creative sort of emotional beat to give us at the end.
There's no way they don't have a sequel to this.
Right?
This
Like,
movie,
come on.
This movie is getting so much attention. I've saw so many American reviews pop up for this. I'm like, there is no way you don't do a sequel to this.
Right.
At least one. So, like, I'm sure she's dead and he's alive. Like, that was kind of a stupid thing to say. I was thinking of Metal Gear Solid. So you played Metal Gear, right? Yeah. Hideo Kojima cheated and chose both endings in that instance. But all I'm saying is he's alive. There's going to be a sequel. There has to be. There's no way you don't. Like, come on. It was like objectively, you take all of my filmmaking knowledge out of it, all that bullshit, you take it away and you just take like the moviegoer fanboy. I'm like, I want some more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
So I thought they did a great job with this. And overall, like just knowing what I know about making films, I'm like, they did a fantastic job.
They did so good.
Yeah.
Like I've talked about this a lot on the channel, especially lately, is like the moment you give yourself constraints is the moment you can really like blossom creatively. And I think the constraints of how tight a train car is and how tight they had to film.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned they don't use a lot of wide lenses or anything like that. It's all really tight shots for a vast majority of the film, and they use those shots and fill them up with so much in such an effective way that I'm just blown away by like the creativity that they were able to bring out and the incredible filmmaking they were able to bring out, considering the constraints they had as far as space and like lens angle could go.
For sure. I don't know like what format they shot this in. I get really curious about the technical side of things because a lens focal length means different things to different sensor sizes.
Right.
So but from my eye, if this was shot like, let's say, on a full frame sensor, it doesn't look like they went wider than 21 millimeters the entire movie. And for tight spaces like this, you generally want to go to like 16 millimeter. Okay, they shot an Arri Alexa Mini LF. That's why it had that beautiful look. That's the same thing they shot Joker on.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's got like that, like kind of film graininess and
it's almost like IMAX, right? And so Zeiss Supreme Prime lenses. That's like they used fantastic lenses for this. Is from what I can tell. Like just the look of it was so beautiful. It had that sort of almost a John Wick quality to it in just how pretty it was, even though it was like really grotesque and violent. Normally for that kind of stuff, you want to be at a 16 millimeter or like, dare I say, wider in order to basically make sure you're capturing everything.
Right.
But they went out of their way to make sure like, it needs to feel tight.
Cramped.
Like, and you need to feel that kind of space. I'm like, they did a good job at like, without it being overbearing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you got that sort of like claustrophobic, I'm too close to people feeling without it like truly being claustrophobic.
Yeah. Did you ever see Mother?
No, I haven't.
Okay, there's a Darren Aronofsky movie called Mother, and he shot that with only 3 camera angles the entire, or three lenses, I should say. And it had this feeling of you feeling very confined. It was effective. It made me very uncomfortable. I don't like that feeling necessarily. I own that movie though because I appreciate what he did. I'm an Aronofsky fan as much as he pisses me off. And so all I'm saying is like, I wouldn't have wanted that for this experience. Like, I think that it was very well balanced in terms of how it was shot. Anyway, I've exhausted this one. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I'm Jaby Koei. This is
Michael Boos.
Peace out.